welcome back to my channel. Today I will be doing the shorts to the granny square top that I did last year. Remember that video where I taught you how to make that cute, granny square flower top? So there is actually a matching short to it. I'm going to show you the picture right now. And we are going to be learning how to crochet that granny square shorts today. So as always, I'll be using my 4mm hook. I don't know if can you see this? I'm going to be using my 4mm hook, but as I said, you can use any hook size from 4 to 5mm. It depends on your preference and your tension. So if you're a loose crocheter, then I would say size down, and if you're are tight crocheter, if your stitches are tight, then you would size up to either one of these so your stitches are a bit looser. But it's all up to your preference. You don't have to. It's what you want to do. Other than that, I will be using my scissors and my 5mm addy hook. This will be used for the strings. So yeah, I'll be using a medium weight yarn. So these are the 3 colors that I'll be using today. These are from Red Heart, Super Saver. So I'm gonna start with the yellow, then I'm gonna do white, and then I'm gonna do black. So it's like a daisy flower with black as the primary color. So let's get started. And as usual, I'm going to be using my yarn guide. I use my yarn guide to prevent rope burns and just take a bit of pressure off my hand, so it makes crochet a bit easier for me. Alright, so I'm going to start with a magic circle, and I'm going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. After that, I'm going to do 11 double crochets in this magic circle. 1, 2. Let me see if I got this right. I think I did 1 over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, right. So 11 double crochets plus that chain of 3 should give you 12 stitches in total. I'm going to count again to make sure that I have the 12 stitches. 12. Okay, great. I'm going to close up the hole by pulling on the string. I like to pull on it really tightly. I don't want to see no hole in the middle. Okay, after that I am going to do a slip stitch into the top chain, into the chain of 3. I'm going to do a slip stitch and then 1 more chain to fasten it off. This is what I have so far. I'm going to make a cut. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next color, which is the white. I'm going to make the petals. So this is the center of the flower. I'm going to make the petals now. So I'm just going to show you how to make the granny square, and then I'm going to tell you how much you're going to need for each size. So if you're going to make an extra small, I'm going to tell you how much square you're going to need for extra small, all the way up to an extra large. But I just want to get the making of the granny square out of the way so you get the concept. Alright, so let's start. You can I don't work in the stitches, I work in the spaces. So I like to work in the space before the chain 2. So I'm gonna put my yarn through in the space, and I'm gonna chain out 3. I'm gonna do a cluster stitch of 2 double crochets here. So I'm going back in the space, pulling my yarn through, pull through 2, yarn over, back in the space, pull my yarn through, pull through 2. I'm gonna pull through all 3 loops. I'm gonna chain 2. I'm moving into the next space right here, yarn over, put my hook through the space, grab the yarn on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going in again, yarn over, put my hook through the space, grab the yarn over, pull through 2. One more time, because I'm gonna do a cluster of 3. This is the only the starting is the only place I'll be doing a cluster of 2 double crochet, because the chain of 3 counts as 1 double crochet. So for every other space, I'll be doing a cluster of 3 double crochets. I'm gonna yarn over again, back in the space, put my yarn through. I should have 4 loops on my hook at the end. I'm gonna pull through all 4 loops. I'm gonna chain 2 again, yarn over into the next space, pull through 2, yarn over in the next space, grab the yarn, pull through 2, yarn over in the next space, grab the yarn, pull through 2. I'm gonna pull through all 4. I'm gonna repeat this until alright, so I'm at the end. I'm in the last space doing the last cluster. I'm gonna chain 2 and do a slip stitch into the middle of the first cluster. Oh, we can see. And then I'm gonna chain 1 to fasten it all. So this is what we should have. Alright, now let's move in with the black. Okay, so we're gonna start in any space, but as usual I like to start in the space before the first stitch or cluster. I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm gonna do a half double crochet into the space. I'm gonna do 2 more half double crochet. So I should have 3 half double crochets in this space. I'm going to move into the next space, and I'm going to do 3 half double crochets. We're not going to chain 1 or 2 or anything. We're just going to go right into that half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Right? In the next space, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to do 2 more double crochets in the same space. 3 more double crochets in that same space. Did I say 2? I meant to say 3. My bad. So we should have 6 double crochets in this space with 2 chains. Alright? So this is the first corner of the square. Right? So we're going to go back into our half double crochet. So we're going to do 3 half double crochets into the next space. We're going to do 3 more half double crochets in the other space. And we're back at the corner, so we're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna chain 2, chain 2, and do 3 more double crochets into the same space. Right, so we have 2 corners so far. Alright, so let's go back into doing 3 half double crochets into the next space. Oop. We're gonna do another 3 half double crochets into the next space. Alright, we're back at the corner, so we're gonna do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna chain 2 and do 3 more double crochets into the same space. Yeah, this is how we have so far. Alright, let's move into another 3 half double crochets into the following space. That's 1, 2, 3. Another 3 half double crochets into the next space. Alright, I'm going to do the last corner, so that is 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. 3 more in the same space. 1, 2, 3. Alright, now we're going to do a slip stitch into that first half double crochet stitch right here. Okay, I know black is not the best color there is, but this is an order for a client, and I just thought that, you know, I'd take you guys along with me and show you how to do it, you know, as I complete this order. So we're going to do a slip stitch into the other half double crochet stitch. So we're going to slip stitch you're going to slip stitch all the way into the next space. That's what I mean to say. Right, so we're going to chain up 3 once we're in the space, and we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we should have 3 stitches in total in this space. We're going to move on to the next space. We're going to do 3 double crochet stitches in this space. Right, we're going to move into the corner space. We're going to do 3 double crochet stitches followed by 2 chain and 3 more double crochet stitches in the same space. Right, okay, so we're going to move on to the next space. We're going to do 3 more double crochet stitches in the next space, 3 double crochet stitches in the next space, 3 double crochet stitches in the next space, and in the corner space we're going to do 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and 3 more double crochet stitches into that same space. See, let's move on into the next space. We're going to do 3 double crochet stitches in the next space, 3 double crochet stitches in the other space, 3 double crochet stitches in the next space. Now back to the corner space. We're going to do 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. 3 more in the same space. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 3 double crochet in the other. So we're just repeating the pattern until we have, you know, completed the entire square. Yeah, back in the corner again, 3 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and 3 more. Okay, so this is what we should have so far, right? And we're going to close it up. We're going to do a slip stitch into that first chain in the chain of 3. I'm going to chain 1 to close it off. All right, so this is 1 square. I'm going to tell you how many squares we're going to need in total for the size shorts that we'll be making, and then we can, you know, go away and make them and come back and I'll show you how I join them to form the short. Okay, cool. Okay, since I'm making a size small, I did 20 squares. After I make my 20 squares, I'm dividing it into 4 sections. It's really 3 rows, but it's 4 sections. So I have 2 rows of 6. This will cover the waist and the hip, and then the last row will be my short hole or my leg hole. So according to the chart that I just showed you, that's how you're going to work again. So I've given you the amount of squares that you need for each side, and how many squares to a row for each side. So after that, we're going to start joining. I'm going to show you how to join each square. So we're going to be joining each square like so, one by one, until everything is joined and we close up the circle, right? So let's get to it. I'm gonna show you how I join 2 squares together, and basically we're just going to repeat it for the entire row until we have formed a circle. I'm going to take 2 squares, I'm going to put them together like this, the right side facing each other, and then I'm going to put my hook into the first of the corner chain through each hole like that, and then let me make my knot, and then I'm gonna pull my hook through like so and do a slip stitch like that. I'm gonna move on to the next hole, which is right here. That's the next chain. Put my hook through both sides, and then I'm gonna do a single crochet stitch like this. Now I kind of do my joining a little different because I want to create spaces so there will be, you know, enough airflow through the short. So I don't do a single crochet all the way across. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, ensure that the stitches aren't tight, and then I'm going to put my hook in the next space, which is right here, through both spaces, and then I'm going to do a single crochet, right? I'm skipping over the first 3 double crochet for each square. I'm going to repeat this again. Chain 3 and do a single crochet into the next space like so. Good. I'm going to chain 3 again, do a single crochet into the next space, chain 3, do a single crochet into the next space of both squares like that, chain 3 again, and then I am going to put my hook into the first chain stitch and do a single crochet, and then put my hook through the other chain in the corner stitch and do a single crochet. After that, I'm just going to do a chain to fasten off, and this is how it should look on the wrong side. But when you turn it on the right side, this is how it looks. So once it's on, you have a little, space going on. Just like that. I'm gonna cut it out. And I'm going to repeat this with each square that I add on until the entire row is completed. And then I'm going to join the very last square, which I have done to the first square, to make a circle. So I'm still gonna record when I do the last square to join the circle, so you guys can see. Okay, so I have joined all my rows. Basically, I like to join all my rows before I close them up. So I joined all 3 rows and 4 panels, and now I'm gonna close it up by joining the first to the last square, just like how I showed you guys before. So we're chaining 3 and putting a single crochet in each bit, but it's honestly up to what you prefer. You don't have to join the way I join. You can put a single crochet in the stitches all the way across if you want it completely enclosed. Alright, close it. I'm going to cut and that is it for joining one row completely. I'm going to do the other 3 and then I will show you how to join each row to form the short. Okay, so after joining all my rows, I'll just lay them out into the outline of the short. And if by chance you're making a extra small or a medium or extra large, you will have other number of squares in a row, and in this case your lineup may look a tad bit different, meaning that the circle may be in the center instead of like this, and that's totally fine. You're just gonna line up your squares and join them, along the way. So I'm going to show you how to join the rows together. So we're going to take 2 rows and then we're going to flip one over on the wrong side like this, and then we're going to insert one row into the other. So basically your rows are facing each other in this like a circular pattern. Ensure that all the squares are lined up, and then you can really start anywhere. So it's the same procedure of joining one square to another. I'm going to be using the same procedure to join the rows together. So you just start anyway. Let's start here. I'm starting right here, like this. don't even have to go in the stitches, you can just go directly into the space, but I'm just very technical. I like to go in the stitches instead because it gives me a cleaner look in my eye. So we're gonna go in the stitch, pull my loop of yarn through and do a slip stitch or chain. It's a chain. In that same stitch I am going to do a single crochet. After that I'm going to chain 3 and do a single crochet into the next space. Now I'm working in spaces, not stitches. I'm going to chain 3 again, go into the other space, chain 3, single crochet in the other space, chain 3, single crochet in the other space. And then whenever I'm coming to a joint, I like to single crochet in the stitch, not the space. That's why I single crochet in the stitch right here, because it's right beside a joint. I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet right in that stitch beside the joint. I'm going to put my hook in the same place and the other square and do a single crochet like that. Now I don't single crochet joints together, it's too much work on my hands. So what I do, I chain 1, I skip over the joint here and I go in the stitch on the other side, just like that. Then I go in the other stitch in the other square and do a single crochet. I'm going to chain 3, continue, single crochet in the space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, and I'm back at the stitch beside the joint. So I'm going to do a single crochet in the stitch instead of the space, and I'm going to chain 1 over the joint and go into the stitch beside the joint on the other side. I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way around until I'm back where I've started. Okay, so I've completed the row. When I've gotten to the end of the row, I did a slip stitch and fasten it off. So this is what I have. I'm gonna flip it on the right side so you guys can see. Okay, this is what we have so far. So this covers the waist and the hip. And now let's work on the short hold. So this is going to be done a bit differently. I'm first going to join the short hold together by 1 square, and then I'm going to attach it to the rest of the short body. So we're just gonna face 1 square. This is all done with the right side facing it each other, so you don't need to flip it on the wrong side. So keep it on the right side and just face 1 square to each other. So we're gonna join. We're gonna start in the stitch beside the joint, just like that, and push it through the stitch beside the joint on the other side, like that. And we're just gonna go across for 1 square only, right? So let's do that. Alright, we're doing a single crochet in that same stitch as before. I'm gonna chain 3 and do a single crochet in the next space, chain 3, do a single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, and do a single crochet in the joint. After that, we're gonna do a slip stitch and cut it off. Once we have finished joining that one square of the short hole, we're going to join this portion to the rest of the shirt. So we're going to turn this inside out like so. We're going to insert this portion inside the shirt, and we're going to push it all the way up to the top and line it up. Line the squares up like that. Now we are going to do our final joining. And how we're going to do that, we're just going to go all the way around with the same joining technique that we have been doing. That's pretty much it. So we're not joining, this section is already joined, so we're just joining here all the way around here. You get what I'm saying? Now let's get to it. Alright, so I'm starting in this stitch right here. So we have basically 3 stitches to join. This stitch here, the side to join, and we're breaking the rule, and we're gonna actually use this joint stitch here to join along with the stitch beside it. Why? Let's look here. We have 3 sections to join on this. You have one here, one here, and one here. So each stitch is allotted to a stitch here, if you get what I'm saying. I hope I'm explaining this properly. So this stitch right here, it's gonna be, where is it? It's gonna be going in this joint stitch right here, right? So we're gonna pull our loop through just like that, chain, and then do a single crochet in that same stitch. Get me? I'm gonna chain 1, and then we're going directly in this joint stitch here. You're gonna take a little bit of wiggling, and then we're gonna position it up with this middle joint stitch here. Then we're gonna do a single crochet. We're gonna chain 1 again, put our hook in that stitch right beside the joint stitch like that, and then this one is going to go through this joint stitch here like so. Like wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay, it's in. Pull it through, do a single crochet just like that. Right, now we have completed that. I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet in the next space. So we're filling up spaces now. Same technique, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3, single crochet in the next space, chain 3. We're back at the joint, but this is just a regular joint. This is not the middle joint, so we just do the usual. We just do the usual single crochet in the stitch beside the joint, chain 1, and into the other stitch beside the joint on the other side, single crochet, then we chain 3 and continue. So we're doing this all the way around. Like so. When we get back here, we're going to do the same thing that we did here at the beginning and carry ourselves all the way around again to where we have started. Do a slip stitch into the first single crochet and fasten it off, right? Okay, so I have completed everything, and now we are going to turn the shirts back on the right side. Don't worry about these little hanging strings. After everything, you know, we will feed them in and hide them and paper them and all of that. So this is what you should have so far. I apologize for the knocking in the background. There is a construction next door, but yes, this is a short. This is how it should look. Remember, this is a drawstring short, so we are making it to the size of the hip and not the waist. So it may look big around the waist because when we're finished, we're gonna draw the string together so it can fit the waist. Now we're gonna work on the border. So we're gonna border the top and the 2 leg holes. So let's start with the leg hole. So it's gonna be the same technique that we're gonna use for all borders. So it's gonna be 2 rows. The first row will be a row of single crochet. So I'm starting anywhere. I'm doing a chain and then a single crochet. I'm working in the stitches this time. So I'm just doing a single crochet in each stitch all the way around. When it comes to the joint, I put 1 stitch in that stitch beside the joint, 1 single crochet in the stitch beside the joint, and then another crochet in the other stitch right beside the joint, just like that. Then I continue to put a single crochet in each stitch going around. So I don't single crochet in the joint. I just put my single crochets in the stitch beside the joints. I'm just going to go all the way around with this, and I'll meet you guys back when I'm finished my row with my row of single crochet stitches. Okay, so I'm on my last single crochet stitch. I'm going to do a slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch and then chain up. We're going to do the last row. Now this row is going to be, I don't know what you call it. Is it scallops? Is it picot? I always get them confused, but please correct me. As I do the pattern, you probably figure out which stitch it is, but okay, let's go. So we're gonna do a single crochet into the same stitch here. Then we're gonna do 2 half double crochets into the next stitch, like so, followed by a single crochet into the following stitch. We're gonna do a slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, and then we're gonna start the process over again. So it's single crochet, 1 stitch, 2 half double crochets in the next stitch, then single crochet again in the next stitch, followed by 2 slip stitches into the next stitch. So this is how it should look. So you can tell me what's the name of this actual stitch, because I keep getting it confused. So we're gonna go all the way around again with this until we're back at the start. I'm back at the start, and I'm going to finish up by doing a slip stitch into that first single crochet stitch that I did at the beginning. I'm gonna do one more chain stitch to just fasten it off and secure it, and I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna bring this string through the same stitch so it kind of conceals it, right? So this is how the finishing looks. I'm going to do the same exact thing for this leg hole, short hole, and then I'm going to do it for the waistband as well. Okay, so let's go and let's do that, and then we'll do our final thing, which is the string. Okay, so when you finish all sides and doing the border, this is how the short should look. Okay, now let's move on to the strings. I'm using 2 rolls of yarn for this because I want my strings to be thick. So I put 2 yarn strings together. I leave out this amount because I'm going to be doing tassels when I'm finished. And I'm going to chain anywhere from 150 to 100. So it depends on how long you want your strings to be. Especially when you're working on a larger size, I'd say go for the 200. If you're working on an extra small, go for 150. So I'm just gonna bridge the gap. So I'm gonna do 180 chains. So let's start. I'm using a 5mm hook, by the way. I'm just taking my time and just chaining the amount that I want. Okay, after that I'm going to pull at least this long, and I'm going to cut. So alright, so our string is finished, right? Now I'm gonna move on to lacing up the short first, and then I'm going to make the tassels after, because when I make that tassel, it's gonna be hard to get it through these holes. So I always lace first and then tassels after. So let's lace up the short. We're finding the center, which is right here, the center space on the right hand side, and I'm just going to go in and push it out through the next space, in through the next space, then out through the next space. So I'm going all the way around with this, in, then out, in, and then out, all the way around. Okay, and that's that. Now we have a little drawstring thing going on by the way. Now let's make the tassels. Okay, now I'm gonna be using this to make my tassels. It gives me the perfect length. So I'm gonna show you what I do. I'm still using my 2 rolls of yarn, 2 yarn string. I'm going to put my yarn strings like this. I'm going to wrap it around 8 times. So that's 8. Okay, then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take one string, I'm gonna open up my string like this. I'm gonna feed one string underneath the loop of yarn that I did like this. So there should be a string on either side. Let me move the short so you can see this better. Right, let's put the shorts back there. So it should look like this, right? Then we are going to tie. I kind of make my tassels a bit different. It's a quicker way for me to do it. I tie, make sure everything's good. Okay, so this is one tie. I tie it tightly so that it all the way to the first chain or the last chain, whichever one it is. And I'm gonna tie again, make a knot again like that. Okay, I'm gonna make a cut at the bottom here like so, and then I'm gonna cut off the excess right here. These are the strings coming from the roll of yarn. I'm cutting these off too. I'll trim up everything once I'm finished, but for now I'm grabbing those 2 strings again that I used to make the knot on the tassels like this, and then I'm taking these strings and I'm wrapping them around like this, and through my fingers like this. See, let's do it again so you guys can get it properly. So it's, these are the 2 strings. Okay, I'm going to hold, taking these 2 strings over my finger, under the yarn, over the finger again. I'm gonna push it through the loop like this. See that? And then I'm gonna tighten, 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 just like this. After that, I'm gonna wrap in an upwards motion like this, and then I'm gonna take my hook. I usually use a smaller hook, so let me see which hook would fit best here. Let's use my 2mm hook. I'm gonna use my 2mm hook. I'm gonna use my 2mm hook. I'm pushing my 2mm hook under the yarn that I just wrapped around, and I'm pulling these 2 strings underneath it, just like that, under and through, under and through. You might have to wiggle it out, just like that, and there you go. That's the tassel. It is secured. I'm going to repeat this on the other 2 strings here, just like that. So let's go around this 8 times again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. By the way, I love free crochet. I get some of my yarn from this site as well, so I just keep within my cubicle. Okay, now I'm gonna repeat again leave the yarn under, and then we are going to tie, make a knot, tight, real tight. One more time. Okay, hold it to one side, and then we are going to cut. Try not to cut the paper or whatever you're using, please. I'm trying not to cut this because I like to save them. I don't know why I'm such a hoarder. I just like to save all of these things that I get from the yarn website, magazines, everything. Alright, let's go again. Wrapping around the finger, under, and then we're going through, like that, like so, and then we are going to tighten. From there, we're wrapping in an upwards motion, and then I'm gonna take my hook, I'm pushing it under what I just wrapped like this, and pulling my yarn. Do I have all the yarn? No, make sure that I have both yarns on the hook, and then I'm gonna pull through just like that and secure it. See? So we have both tassels. After, I'm just gonna clean it up with my scissors, but you get the drift. This is my shorts, and these shorts go with the crochet top. Let me zoom out more so you can see it properly. So here is the finished result, looking really good. So now I'm just gonna spend the time to clean up my edges and everything, and that should be a wrap. I just want to give you guys some notes on the different sizes. So if you're doing an extra small, a medium, or a large, the number of squares in a row will be uneven. So it will be an odd number of squares. So I'm making a small, right? Therefore I have 6 squares in the row 1 and row 2, right? So it gives me a layout that's perfectly lined up in the front and the back. However, if I'm doing a medium, I will have 7 squares in a row, which means the front would look like this. However, there will be 1 more square in the back. So there will be a full square in the center, and it would look like this. If that's the case, I don't want you guys to be put off with the same method. Just use the front as a guide when you are joining the rows together, right? So you just start at the front and just continue joining all the way around until you come back to the front. Here, especially where this is concerned, start at the front and just continue joining all the way around. Doesn't matter if there's a square running down in the middle. The technique is still the same, okay?